Good morning, guys. It's Scott with the Davidson Realty team, and I wanted to share with you one of the top things I'm getting asked at my last couple of listing appointments and just phone calls with some friends, people that are calling in and saying, look, I really do want to sell. I want you to help me sell my house. And what do I do in terms of, we want to buy a house too. And the question we're getting mostly right now is, when do I buy? When do I sell? How does that process work? Do I find a house first and buy? Or do I sell the house first and then buy? So let's go through that together. There's not a right answer, but I want to share the opportunity with you of kind of the different scenarios. So here's what we kind of run into. If you have a house you need to sell, let's just say you're selling a house for $200,000. You're thinking about buying a house that's $250,000 or $300,000, and you need the money to sell from the sale of your house. You need that money to buy. So you're in a situation where you must sell to buy, and that's the scenario with most of us, right? We need the equity to put into the new house. So with that being said, and there's still not a straight answer on this one. In some cases, depending on which house you're trying to sell or which house you're trying to buy, I'm going to give a different recommendation. So the question is, if your house is going to sell really, really fast, if it's in an area where we already know it's really, really hot, then that's the last thing we're thinking about, is like selling your house is going to be the easier part. So then I'm going to recommend you go out with one of our buyer's agents, go find a house you really, really like, and in doing so, kind of, if you will, find 2 or 3 that you like, put them in your pocket and say, I really like these. And this is one option. And then come back and put the house on the market. As soon as we get a contract, we go back and find out which ones are still available, put a contract on that one, make them go back to back, and so we can sell and buy at the same time. Now, more often is the case, we send you out to look at houses and you're like, well, I don't want that house to get away from me. And I'm sure you can understand that philosophy, right? So I don't want it to get away, so I'm going to put a contract on it, contingent that I sell the other house to get the equity to buy this house, right? Well, the challenges right now in a little bit tighter of an inventory market is a lot of the sellers on the other end, the house you're buying, are not going to want to necessarily take a contingency and wait for you to sell to be able to buy, whereas there's plenty of buyers and sellers coming in right now, plenty of buyers coming in. So that seller looks at it and says, your contingency is not really that strong. And so we're going to kind of not take a contingency. We're going to take the buyers that don't have anything to sell first. So you have a weaker position by doing it this way. It can work, but what works even better is if you have to have a contingency, is if you've already got your house under contract, and then we go put a contingency on it and we talk to the other agent, like our sales team talks to them and says, look, here's the deal. They want to buy your house. Yes, they have to sell their house, but we're already under contract. We've already gotten through due diligence period. We've already gotten past appraisal or whatever we've done. So in other words, it's as close to guarantee as we can guarantee. And that makes it a lot more of a win-win situation for everybody, because then there's less risk for that other seller, obviously. The other scenario, the best scenario, quite honestly, is if we go ahead and put your house on the market and we get it under contract and we close it, you've got the money in the bank, and then we buy something, you're in a very strong position because you have no contingencies. Here's the challenge. Most of us are going to say, well, then where am I going to live for that 10, 15, 30, 60 days, right? And the question is, do you want to move twice as well? So the people that we find the most success with this situation is when they have parents or children, depending on the age, obviously. But if they have somebody, a family member, that they can move in with temporarily. And yes, I get it. It stinks that you have to move twice, but it gives you so much more power, and it gives you a lot of peace of mind because you've already released the note on house number 1. You've got the money in the bank. So now you got your $30, $50, $100, and $200,000 or whatever in the bank. Now you go buy something. And the second part of that is it gives you a lot more power in terms of just being able to slow down. Because follow me, if you go under contract and then all of a sudden you go pick a house, even if we can sell to them, yes, we're contingent, but we've got it under contract, all that, that's great. But here's the challenge. You go into the market and you have to put a house under contract for 2 weeks or within 2 weeks because we need to time it out to be able to buy and sell on the same day. If that's the contingency, then what if you get out there and you go, I don't like anything out here. Like, I don't like any of these houses. So there's another challenge right there, is that now all of a sudden you got your house under contract and you settle. And then 6 months, 12 months from now, you're like, I should have taken my time. I'm really not thrilled with this house. I wish we had waited till this came on the market. Look at the one across the street now. It just came on the market. I really wish we had that house. We should have waited, right? So it's that philosophy of never being happy if you had to settle and make a decision super fast. So in my feelings, the best scenario is for you to sell first, hold the money in your pocket, either find a short-term rental or a family member to live with. I know it's the most inconvenient way, but it puts you with the best product at the end because you can pick the house you want. If you pick the house you want, I think you're going to be happier long-term, which means you're going to be happier with me long-term as well, by the way. I'm just be honest with you. If you feel like you need to buy at the same time as sell, then I'm going to recommend you go find a house you like first. It's still a good enough market that things are selling pretty fast. Let's go find the house you like first. Let's get that deal negotiated with a contingency and try to work that deal out with that seller that we're going to make it happen very quickly. And they know who the Davidson Realty team is. They know we work very fast, we're very efficient, and we're going to get your house sold very quickly. Now, what that's going to also do is you're going to have to pay closer to full price because you're asking them to do you a favor. So if you see a house for $275, that's not the one to offer $250 on. You're going to probably have to give them pretty close to what they're asking for. And if there's any issues in value, it's going to be done with the appraisal coming in short. And then we'll renegotiate that. But for the most part, you're going to have to give them what they want because they're giving you what you want, which is holding the property out for you while you sell. And then we're going to sell it, and we're going to sell it very quickly. We're still going to get maximum dollar for you, but we're going to make that process very smooth. We're going to let all parties know that we're all going to stay in touch with each other so that they know what's going on with your sale. The buyer of your house is going to know that you're needing to make this happen as quick as possible because we're buying another house. It's just think about that. It's like a whole totem pole, right? If one piece falls off, it's like a house of cards. It all falls apart if one thing falls apart. So we're going to hold it together. And that's just another one of those things too. When you guys think about real estate agents, what most people don't tend to think about is, yeah, we show you houses and it looks very easy and we get you under contract. We sell your house, we put it on the market, whatever you don't see behind the curtain, that's fine. But then we sell it really fast and it looks really easy. What most people don't realize is that's about 25% of the job. The other 75% is what happens after you go under contract and we go through inspection period, appraisal period, loan approval period, and all those factors that kind of can make the deal fall apart, quite honestly. And that's where I think we really get paid, is we are very good at keeping the deal together. Whether it's coming up with a home warranty that wasn't written into the project to the original contract, whether it's making one of our contractors go out there and do something that they really didn't want to do, but it gets us to the finish line, or whether we have to make an adjustment on this, be it price or conditions or the terms or the seller's concessions. We bring all those things together in our experience on our team. You got to realize in the last 4 years, we've already sold, in the last 4 years, we're probably up over 400 deals that we've helped close on one way or another. So we've got a lot of experience, and we put a lot of transactions together and a lot of families in the homes they want to be, and we take a lot of families out of the homes they want to sell. So, it's a win-win for both sides, but it's keeping the deal together that's so important. But I hope that answers your question on, do I buy first, do I sell first? Like I said, it's almost not a direct answer, but at the same time, you'll know what's best for your family because you're going to have situations of, do I have kids in school? And is that a factor of, if I move in January, is that going to affect them in the middle of their school year? Or do I need to sell during the summer? And, with Henry County, at least, we only have 8 weeks of summer. That's not really much of a summer break. You could literally put your house on the market the first day school gets out and still not be in by the days that school starts at the end of the year or at the end of the summer. So, we've got such a tight summer. So I really don't look at summer as the selling season anymore. I think it sells during all times of year. Let us know what else we can answer for you, because that is one of the bigger questions I get from everybody who wants to sell is about timing. And the other thing they're coming up with timing obviously involves with, now we're into the holiday season and stuff like that. Do I sell now? Do I sell in December? Do I sell in January? Do I wait till February? Do I wait till April? I've told on other videos what my thoughts are on that. I'm all a big fan of sell now, because the market is as good as it's going to be right now. It's not getting any better, and I'm definitely not scaring anybody to say it's getting worse. It's just not getting better. We're kind of starting to hit a level plateau, and I don't want buyers to get burnt out, to pull off the market and stop looking altogether. So I think we're in as good a market as we've been in. or I should say, we're not getting a whole lot better, but it's starting to stabilize. Like the sellers are not having the advantage anymore as much. The buyers are not feeling like we're going to go into a multiple offer situation. We're getting to that point now where the days on market's getting a little more normalized. Inventory's kind of stabilizing. We're getting closer to 5 months of inventory, where it was 6 months is a balanced market, but before we were at like 3 months. So we're starting to stabilize in that respect, and it's getting a little bit easier for the buyers. It's getting a little bit more challenging for the sellers, and they're having to make sure they price it right now. So that's one of the things, obviously, as an ex-appraiser, I'm really helping the sellers with is pricing correctly. So I know I've thrown a lot of information at you. If there's anything we can answer for you, obviously reach out to me. My number is 678-858-6420. That's my cell number straight up. You can text, you can call, you can do whatever you need to do. Get a hold of me. If it's one of my buyer's agents you need to get a hold of, just call me directly. I will connect you straight up. If you need a lender, I've got great lenders. We've got 4 or 5 we're actually working with on a regular basis. I'll shoot you all their phone numbers and our preferred lender sheet, and we'll make sure we do everything to get your family taken care of. And I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.